Okay, when introducing the eval command at the beginning of this module, we said that you can also use the eval command with conditional statements. One of the ways of doing that is by using the if function, which has the syntax that we are showing here on the screen. So you're going to have your eval command, then you put your new field on the right side. Sorry, you're going to have the if function and then the parameters of the if function, which we're going to see here. The first one that we use here is the x. X actually represents a Boolean expression, which basically means that it can evaluate to true or false. That's why it's called a Boolean expression. Now, if the Boolean expression is true, then you are going to give the new field the value y. If the Boolean expression is false, then you are going to give that new field the value z. So we're going to see two examples here. The first one is a well-known example. We've been dealing with the call result field. We actually use this as a calculated field already initially, so it's present in our results. So we're going to see here how you use the if function in order to calculate it manually. So if field response code is 200, we're going to give call result a success, else we're going to give call result a failure. So this is the query that you can use to do that. You see that on the second line here, what we're doing is using the if function. So we put our field call result, we use the if function. And then this first part here is what we call our Boolean expression. So we are saying that response code is, we are checking for response code equal to 200. So this is our Boolean expression, which can either be true or false. So if the response code that is associated to your event is 200, then success is going to be assigned to the call result field. So the call result is going to be success. If the response code is anything other than 200, which means that this evaluates to false, as we said here, then call result is going to take the value failure. Okay, and then one other thing to note here is that when you are passing the values to your new field, and they are non-numeric, then you always have to make sure that you enclose them in quotes, because if you don't do that, then it's going to be interpreted as field names and it's going to fail. So ultimately, you're going to have something like this. You see that call result is now going to be added to each event. So it definitely is going to show up on the field sidebar. And in our case, you see that successful events represent like maybe 61% of events, and then failures are like 39%. The second example we see here is we want to calculate a field called zip length. Now, if length of zip code is 5 digits, so we have a field in our events called zip code. Zip code can either be 5 digits or 4 digits, but we want to know how many zip codes are 5-digit zip codes and which ones are 4-digit zip codes. So we can use the if function as well for that. So what we're going to say is we just calculate the new field zip length, use the if function, and then here we put our condition. This is the condition, which is basically our Boolean expression. It checks the length of the zip code. If the length of the zip code is 5, it gives it 5 digits. If it's anything other than 5, it gives it 4 digits. Note here that what you see here, length, that is a function in Splunk that you are using to check the length of a field value. All right, another thing to note here is that when you're passing the field name here, it always has to be case sensitive. So if you had two field names, maybe zip code, another one that had zip with a small c, those are going to be looked upon like two different field names. In general, in Splunk, field names are always case sensitive. Okay, so you're going to come up with something like this where you're going to see zip length now is going to be added to each event. And if you look at the stats here, you're going to see that almost 96% of your events are 5-digit zip codes, and maybe just 3% or 4% of them or so are 4-digit zip codes. Our demonstration here again is from our event gen source type. So we're going to start here. Use the eval command with the if function to calculate a new field call result as follows. A value of call result is value of call result is success if response code is 200 and failure otherwise. And then we're going to go ahead and validate that this now shows up on the field sidebar and part of each event as well. So the second one we're going to do is use the eval command with the if function to calculate a new field zip length as follows. So the value of zip length is 5 digits if zip code length is 5 and 4 digits otherwise. And we're also going to validate that this shows up on the field sidebar and part of each event. So let's go ahead and perform the demonstration. All right, so we are back to our local instance of Splunk here. I'm just going to go to the search and reporting app again. And then since we are pulling from our event gen source type, we're just going to go index again equals main source type equals event gen. And then we're just going to use last 60 minutes here so that it can be faster. Okay, use the eval command with the e function to calculate a new field called result as follows. Okay, so call result is already here. We just really want to mimic how this was calculated, because as we said, this was calculated and saved as a calculated field. So it's a knowledge object in Splunk already. So we're gonna do eval. So what I'm gonna do here, really, I'm just gonna say call result one. Just give it a different field name. Let's see how this looks like first. So I'm gonna go if and then our condition now is on what? If call result, if response code. So we are looking at response code. The response code field is down here. So anytime that a response code is 200, then it means that we're gonna give call result a success. Or if any of these other response code, then we're gonna say that it's a failure. So basically that's what we are doing. We come here and then let's look at this event again just to further elaborate. What is the response code value of this event is 200. It means that this event is going to have the value of call result to be success. Okay, we're going to call it call result 1 just so it doesn't override this one and then we see. So we do if response code equals 200, then we're going to give it success. Otherwise, we're going to give it failure. So we do this. So you now see that it has calculated a new field called call result 1 because we called it call result 1. We just want to make sure that we want to give it a new field name so that it doesn't have to override what's there already. This one that's there is the one that is from our calculated fields. But you see that this is exactly the same thing. So you can calculate two different field names that is the same calculation. There's no problem with that. So you see that this is giving you exactly the same thing as this one here will give you. So if you do call result, you see that it's only going to show that field because as we said that when you use the eval command, if the field name already exists, then it's going to be overwritten. So basically what is here now is what we have just calculated. So that's how you use the if function. If you now go to each of the events, you see there that this event, for example, has a 404. So call result is going to be what? Failure, right? So you go to the second event here. Let's just check this one. This one has 200. So you expect call result to be success. Okay. And then the next thing now, it says that validate that this now shows up on the field sidebar and part of each event. We just saw that it's part of each event and then call result is showing on the field sidebar. So we've done that already. The second one, use the eval with command with the if function to calculate the zip length as follows. So again, we're going to go back here and then where is our zip code? We have zip code as a field here. Oh, where is it? So this is zip code. So most of the zip codes are 5 digits, but some of them though are 4 digits. So what we want to do is that any event that has a 5-digit zip code, we want to tag it as 5 digits. Anyone that has a 4-digit zip code, we want to tag, or anything other than 5 digits, which definitely is going to be 4 digits, we're going to tag it as 4 digits, and we're going to give the field name as zip code length or just zip length. So let's do that. We're going to now say that before we go there, one thing, I said you have to use quotes here. Let me just remove them and see if this works again. Okay, so you see that it works, but where is call result? You see that call result is not here. So you would have been thinking that, oh, this actually evaluated. It didn't work simply because it thinks that success is a field, but it checks here success is not a field. It's basically saying that take the value from the success field, or if this condition, take the value from the failure field. But these are not field names. So you have, in order to make sure that these are just string values that you want to pass, they are not numeric values that you want to pass into call result, you have to always make sure that you enclose them in quotes. But if they are numeric, like we could also say that we're just going to give, if it's true, we give 1. And if it's a failure, we give 0. These are numeric values. You could choose to do this as well. And if you do this, you see that it's going to work because those are numeric values. So if you come right here now, you're going to see call result, and you're going to see that call result is either 1, which maybe you want it to be a success, or 0, maybe you want it to be a failure. So you have to be careful with that as well. Now, let's go to our zip length. We're just going to do zip length. And then we say that if the length of the zip code, so we said that length is a function in Splunk that you can use to check the length So you're checking the length of the zip code field, so the value of the zip code, so to speak. If the length is 5, then you're going to call this, let's leave 1 or 0 there and see. So if you come to zip length now, which is going to be somewhere down the line here, you see that, well, 96% of zip codes have 1, and then just about 4% have 0. So it means that 96% of zip codes have 5 digits, and just about 4% have 0. So if you come here, have 4 digits, which is 0. So if you come here now, you go, your zip length is 1. But I mean, what is 1 really? So the reason for you to always try and put things like this here is so that you can have meaningful names. So that's why it says we put like 5 digits. This is a meaningful name. And then we go here, we put another string here, which is 4 digits. So these values of X and Y that we said before, which is the value that it evaluates to when it's true and false here, is you put meaningful values that are going to make sense to you. So now if you go down here and just point on zip length, you see that, oh yeah, now it means that 5-digit zip codes are like 96% and 4-digit zip codes are like, 4% or so. And if you go here now, you look at zip length down here, you see that the zip length here is 5 digits. So that's how you can do that. So those are just 2 quick examples of how you can use the if function in Splunk.